Hi everyone, and welcome to Weekly Cooking with Becky. Today we are making 2-ingredient blondies. Now, in the past I posted a 2-ingredient brownie. Same concept. We're gonna do one thing different. It's the same kind of 2 ingredients. Instead of chocolate chips, we're using white chocolate chips. We still use 6 eggs. Now in the brownies, we separated the eggs and we whisked up the egg yolk, and then we whisked up the egg whites separately, and we made the egg whites very, very full. And then we took the whisked egg yolks and we added the melted chocolate, and then we folded in the egg whites. It made for a cakier, thicker. For blondies, you want them to be thinner. So we are not going through a 3-step process, just 2. So we're gonna preheat the oven to 350. You want 6 eggs, preferably room temperature. Doesn't have to be, you just get a more frothy egg at room temperature. And you want 12 ounces of sugar-free chocolate chips. Now the recipe does recommend Chalk Zero. I will say I didn't have Chalk Zero. Chalk Zero sells it in a 12-ounce bag. I have Lily's, so they're in a 9-ounce bag, so I bought 2. So I highly recommend, it for anybody on a low carb or a keto diet that you guys have a food scale. And so I put it in a bowl and I measured out 12 ounces. So what I'm going to do right now is, my mixer's ridiculously loud. I am going to get the eggs super frothy, and then I am going to melt the chocolates in 20-second intervals. Guys, if you go too long, it gets hard again. It's not good. 20-second intervals until the spatula gets it nice and ready to go. Once it's melted, once they're frothy, I will meet you back here and we're gonna whisk it together. You're going to also need an 8-inch prepared pan, just parchment paper. Put a little grease on the outside so that it holds its shape, and we'll be ready to go. If you have a 9-inch, it recommends an 8-inch. I've been in that position. You're gonna take 8-9 minutes off the cooking time, and they're gonna be very thin. So I recommend an 8-inch if possible. So right now, I'm gonna get these frothy. I'm gonna get these melted. 20 seconds, stir, 20 seconds, stir, 20 seconds, stir. I'll meet you back here when we're ready to whisk everything together and then get them into the oven. All right, so my eggs are frothy and the chips are melted. Just a nice creamy texture. It took a minute in all in my microwave. Everyone is different. So we have a nice frothy, you can even see the bubbles on top. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just going to go ahead and drizzle in. Ooh, doesn't that look good? Now when I made the brownies, because it's 2 ingredients, people asked me if it was too eggy. The answer is no, totally no. You are adding so much sweetness with these chips. Do not even worry about it. And it definitely gives it a fudgy-like consistency. You don't have to worry about that at all. Promise you. So, getting that in there, trying to get every little nook and cranny. We'll get back to that spatula. And now, just trying to make sure we get it all whisked. I might need to use the spatula a little bit, kind of help it out here a little bit. Let's see. I want to get it nice and incorporated. I'll go back to the whisk here in a second. So I'm gonna take turns doing it. The person who did this, which is off of Low Carb Love, says just to use the whisk. I'm gonna use both, and I will be back in a minute to show you what it looks like. Okay, so I wanna just kind of show you. It's all whisked and it's kind of a thin runny. Please do not worry about that. When it cooks, it's gonna be wonderful. So we're gonna grab our pan. I'm gonna spray the inside just a little bit too. I've done that before. Just give it a little zhuzh. And here we go. Make sure we got it all in there. Baking 30 to 35 minutes. The edges will start to pull away, and that is because it is eggy. So the edges will start to pull away. It's not going to come out like with a fork or a knife completely clean. I'm just gonna let you know that. It's gonna come out mostly clean. Just being honest with y'all. Okay, so that's how it looks. And I always give it a few little taps. When you do something with a lot of air bubbles, you want to do that. So I'm going to put it in for 30 to 35 minutes. I'm going to start watching about 25. I always start watching a little bit earlier. When it's done, the eggs are going to have a rise to it. It's going to deflate. That's normal. It'll deflate over about 10 to 15 minutes as it cools. When it's cool enough that I can handle it, I'll be back for the taste test. All right, see you then. Okay, so they are out of the oven. They're probably truly not ready to taste test yet, but it's like 5 o'clock in my world and I'm really hungry. So I went ahead and put one on a plate. You'll notice it raised on the side where the eggs are. That's fine. But there's that lower edge where we're gonna have that blondie look. You're gonna wanna store them in the fridge, which is fine. You can cut them into 9 pieces, so they make pretty good sized bars, okay? So, yeah, here we go. I am gonna go ahead, cut off a little piece, kind of show it to you. Nice and good. Okay, so that is really good. If you like, it does not taste anything like the brownies, even though it's a swap. I think if you want it to be more cakey, you would just separate out the eggs and the egg whites. This reminds me more, it has the flavor of a blondie, but the texture of a custard. So you're gonna keep it refrigerated. So the flavor is absolutely amazing, but I wanted to let you know it has the texture of a custard. So just know if you want it to have more of a brownie texture, do it the way that the 2 ingredient brownies are made and separate the eggs, do the stiff white peaks, and then incorporate the egg whites, incorporate the chocolate chips with the egg yolks and then fold in the egg whites. If you want it more cake-like. If you like it like a custard, this is really good. And I'm totally fine with that because I like things like flan and stuff. So it's a delicious dessert. 2 ingredients, store it in the fridge, and you've got a delicious dessert. So hope you like this one, and I will see you next time. All right, bye.